Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Marina from Marina Art Design, and in this video I'm going to show you how I'm using this free software called PaintNET for my digital stores and products online, Etsy, Creative Fabrica, KDP as well. PaintNET is a free image and photo editing software for computers that run Windows. The program is light, it doesn't take a lot of memory, and it's very convenient for simple tasks, but also can be very powerful, especially if you install extra free plugins I'm going to show you. If you Google search PaintNET, this is what you're going to get in the results. If you click on the download link, it's going to take you on this page. On this page, you will see that you have paid and free version. This software is free. The paid version is there in case if you want to donate something to developers, and you can do that by buying the official lifetime license, and it is, I believe, $15. The payment is only if you want to donate something to developers. But the base of this software is also limited when it comes to what you can do with the image. So that is why I recommend that you automatically go here on PaintNet forum and check the plugins. Especially check the plugins pack. You do not have to install this one, the main one that I'm going to use in this video, but this is the one that is being recommended by most of the PaintNET users because it has, so this is where you go, so bolt bake accelerated plugin pack, and if you scroll down it is actually showing you everything that is included in this bonus plugin pack. You can also create calendars as well. I'm going to show you that later on in the video. And here the first pinned comment in this topic is actually developer explaining you with images and text, of course, step by step how to install these plugins on your Windows computer. So this is something that I love about this software, and the way they approached this program is by providing you detailed step-by-step guide with images and tips how each of the tools and each of the functions inside the program actually works. So you have here example what each of the buttons and tools are actually doing. So if you do not know what a tool is going to do or what are the controls for the tool, you can go here and check it out. The only downside of this tool, I would say, is that once you type a text with this tool on an image, you cannot change the text. So you cannot go back and retype the text by fixing some of the letters. Once you type the text and you are finished and you exit the text tool tab, the text becomes an image. It cannot be edited anymore. For this reason, you have this warning here and recommendation that if you want to type something, you type it in the individual layer so you can delete that layer if you notice a mistake or if you want to change something within the text. Like I said, you cannot change anything with the text. You can only delete that entire layer where you have text typed. So that is the only downside of this software. Also, something that I want to point out is that in the video, I will be using images that are generated with the AI tool called DZINE. I have not tested this tool yet. I only used my free trial to generate a couple of images. At the moment, they are having a sale, 30% discount. That is what is pulling me towards to test this out, at least for a month. If you follow me, you know that last year or 2 years ago, I tested Midjourney for 1 month in order to see how much money I can make with the images I generated from the Midjourney. I believe my total income now from the Midjourney images is $600. That is in entire year, and that is mostly coming from Creative Fabrica, I believe, or my other online stores. Now that income is now coming in passively after I used Midjourney for 30 days extensively, and I show you that in my previous videos. This time I want to test this DZINE because I'm interested in this dashed style of the images. So tracing, I call them tracing images. So this is something that is interesting me. If you want me to record that in the video, comment down below. Most likely I will get this 30% discount, and especially because, you know, if you follow me, they have SVG export, and you know how much I love SVG file format. So that is what I'm going to try to get. Also, if you have Canva Pro, subscription, I would recommend that you go, if you haven't checked yet, Dreamlab. So just type Dreamlab in search with Canva and it's going to take you to this page if you do not have it active in your left panel. Because they purchased Leonardo, they are using now a system that is Leonardo based, and now the images that they are generating are much better. So check out Dreamlab from Canva. I'm going to use this image in my PaintNET program. I'm going to show you how to clear this image up and how to actually use it in Valentine's Day book cover. So DZINE and Canva Dreamlab, that is going to be in my upcoming videos. If you want me to share you something specific about that, comment down below. If you have everything installed, once you start your program, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see that you have these flying panels here on the left and right side. Maybe they're going to be on different position for you because this is where I place them. You can move them around. If you look in the upper right corner here in this upper right corner, you can actually toggle them on and off if you want to temporarily remove them from canvas if they're bothering you, so you can turn them on off. And also here you can click on settings, and if you click on settings, it's going to give you the default settings that you can change. You can change everything regarding the initial default settings of the interface. You can change how the transparent section of the image is going to look like. You can change the default settings of all the tools. I would recommend that first you play around a little bit with the software and then you go here and actually set it to your preferred preference. So for example, I have my brush size to be default 10, and then of course I can make it larger or smaller, but I want the initial size to be 10. And then I have my preferred font and font size and font settings. So all of this is basically you selecting the default settings that are going to be when the program starts. If you have drawing tablet, once you connect it, here you're going to have option to change the sensitivity of the pen. Here, if you have multiple graphic cards connected, you can select which one to use. The color management is by default RGB. That doesn't really matter too much. If you are on a stable internet and it's flat, then you can select that automatically checking for updates. If you want to control your internet usage, then you can uncheck this, so it is only checking for the updates when you give him the initial boost. But I'm on flat internet, so I'm checking this, so it's automatically checking for updates of the software. If any of the plugins that I have installed is not compatible with the versions that I have on my system, this is where it's going to give me errors for those plugins, so I know which one is not working. And also if the program crashes for whatever reason, here you're going to see a crash log, and you can also share that log with the developer. This is not really important unless you are using beta versions that are not stable for purpose of the testing. You're always going to download the stable version, so that doesn't matter to you. But that is where you can find that in the upper right corner. I'm not going to talk to you individually about these sections here, so file, edit, view, image, layers, adjustment, effect. You can research that on that website that I showed you, on their main website, everything explained in greater details. I have this image and I'm going to share this image with you in my community tab here on YouTube channel and also in my Facebook group, so you can download it and print it out. This is just a layout of all the keyboard shortcuts that you can use to speed up your process. Most of the tools, they have unique letters. For example, selection tool, they do not have a unique letter, they have just toggle between letter S. So if I press letter S once, it's going to activate rectangle select. If I press it again, it's going to switch to lasso select, and then ellipse select and magic wand. So each time I press letter S, it's actually toggling between 4 different selection tools. All the other tools, they have unique letters. So if I want to change gradient or create gradient, I press G. If I want to fill everything, then I'm going to press letter F, that is for paint bucket. So most of the shortcut letters are quite logical. Eraser is E, pencil is P. Those shortcut keyboards letters are quite logical. Let's start with something simple. Let's see how rectangle selection tool works. Let's go to this image here and let's select this cube here. If I want to move my selection, click on M or move, and now you see I am moving my selection. But as you can see here, if I go on top of this circle here, I have this white around it. How to avoid that? I need to make sure that all my elements are on their individual layers and everything around it is transparent. So if I go back, if I'm here in this layer, if I select this, and if I press Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl V, now what's going to happen, you see I have only that cube selected. So that's the reason why it is very important that everything that you are doing, if it's not connected, that you do it in the individual layers. You will do that by going to layers and then just create new layer. If I want to paste something and I want to make sure that it is pasted on a new layer, I'm not going to press Ctrl V, that is to paste. Ctrl C is to copy, Ctrl V is to paste. But in this case, I want to paste in a new layer and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift V. Ctrl Shift V, it's going to paste that element into new layer. And that is going to give me this result. So that is a rectangle selection tool. And of course, if you see, if I want to now click both of these cubes, I cannot do that without using keyboard shortcuts, because if I select this and I try to select this, it's canceling the previous selection. So now I'm going to just zoom in so you can see my mouse like that. So look what happens if I press Control. You see the little plus sign next to my mouse key, and I'm not going to press Alt. Do you see the minus key? So Control for plus and Alt for minus. What that is doing, let me cancel this out, is if I select this cube and now I hold Control key on my keyboard, if I continue to select, it is actually adding to whatever I have selected. So that is addition to your selection. And now everything that is obviously shaded is selected. If I press Alt, it is going to subtract whatever I shade now. So now I'm pressing Alt. You see now, if I do this, if I do this, if I do this, now I'm subtracting from my previous selection. So holding Control key is adding to whatever you have selected, and Alt is actually subtracting from what you have selected. So that is how you use keyboard to help you when you want to select multiple elements that are not connected to one another. If these elements are in the same shade, same color, and they are separated, you can use magic wand. So let's try magic wand selection tool. If I press on this arrow here, you see it is only selecting the arrow because everything that is in that initial pixel color that I selected, it is going to be selected. If I press here, it is only going to select everything that is red. You see how these two shades are close to one another, but they are not the same. What if I want the magic wand that selects everything that is even in similar color? Then I need to increase, you see, the tolerance. If I increase the tolerance, it's going to grab everything that is in similar shade to the first color that I selected. What if I want to select everything that is red on the entire image with one single click? If I want to do that, I need to make sure that I'm pressing Shift key before I click on my desired color. So if I want to select everything that is red, I'm holding the Shift key, magic wand, and you see now everything that is red is selected. Let me show you that on this image, holding the Shift key. Press here, you see everything that is in this shade of purple is now selected, and of course I can control the tolerance, so how close to the initial shade it's going to grab around it. So you see, if I move it up, I'm getting these tiny pixels that I do not want. They are similar to the purple shade, but I do not want them. So you have this tolerance bar, you can move it up and down, or you can slide it with your mouse. That is how you control most of the tools inside PaintNET, you have these tolerance tabs in the tab here. What if I want to remove background from this banana? I press here, and now you can see I can actually control it more precisely. And this is where I lose it. And then I just press delete, and that is how you delete outside everything that is outside the shape that you want to isolate. I already told you that I have this image that was generated with CANVA Dreamlab, and if I want to clear this, but you see I also have this section that I also want to be transparent, and I also have this section. So I'm going to click on this and press delete, click on this, press delete, and click on this and press delete, and now I have cleared my image around the bears. How I'm going to select these bears? Obviously, if I click here, it's going to only select everything that is white. If I hold shift, again, it's only going to select everything that is white. So in this case, what I need to do is I need to hold shift key and press on transparent section. Now the magic wand has selected everything that is transparent. Now I'm going to press Control and letter I. So that is inverse of the original selection. So everything that was originally selected, now it's reverse. And I'm going to Control C to copy, and I'm going to paste that here. And remember, do not want to paste it to combine it with this original background image. I want to make sure that it is in its own unique layer. So later on, I can move it around, shift it, change it, delete it, do whatever I want. So I'm going to hold Control, Shift V, and now I pasted my bears. And let me zoom out. You can zoom in and out by holding Control key and moving the mouse wheel up and down. So let's move it here. This is a little too big because I also want to have title here. And that's it. This is the beginning of my book, Valentine's book. Let's go back. We have them. What else we can get here? We can get unicorn. Now I'm going to show you something. Let's grab magic wand again. Let's click on this one, on the layer with unicorn. Click here, delete, click here, delete, click here, delete, and click here, delete. Sometimes you're going to have this situation. If you want to have something that is transparent, you see like now it looks perfectly fine. But what if I want to put this on a dark background? You see we have these tiny pixels around. How to get rid of these tiny little pixels around the image that we remove the background around it. In order to do that, we're going to go to Effects. If we install that plugin, it's going to be under Object and Feather Object. You see now, you see how it's clearing it up. By default, it is set to 1. You can, of course, increase it. You can play around with the numbers to see which value it's going to work. But what that is actually doing, it is removing one single pixel around the edges of the transparent section of that layer where you are currently on. Of course, it is only going to work on the transparent images. And click OK. And let's say I want to convert this into a sticker. How do I convert this into a sticker? In order to convert this to a sticker, I need to have a white edge around everything. So I'm going to go to Effects, Object, and now I'm going to select Outline Object. And now it is set to black, so that's why you cannot see it, but I'm going to change the color to white. And you can also change the width. You see, you can go big, you can go small, and you can set to whatever color you want. But of course, for sticker, we probably want to stick with white. And click OK. This is also going to be very useful in case if we want to type some text. Let's try typing my book title here. My title is going to be, and keep in mind, I'm not going to type directly here. I want to make sure that I create new layer, because text, once I type it, it is finished. I cannot change it. Let's change font to big one, and I'm going to find my font. Let's see, can I find it quickly? Where is it? Yeah, this one. Love is all around. I don't know, it's just something to type, and I want to center the font and put it here. Now I'm still in the text tool tab. That means I can still go back and type something else. But the moment I leave the text control feature, now it is finished. Now there is absolutely nothing I can do with this text except delete it and start over. But now that I have this text, what I actually want to do is I want to add outline, and I believe this looks very nice. Another option is, let's go here, let's delete this rectangle, and let's type, let's say, love yourself, and let's change this to a little bit smaller, and let's change the color to white. Here you have two colors, primary and secondary. If I swap, I can swap to white. So you can always have two controls, two colors very quickly here in this menu. You just click wherever you want, and it's going to set the main color. And if you click with the right click of the mouse, it's going to select your secondary color. My primary color is now white, and I want my secondary color to be black. You see here in this section, you can control your primary and secondary color. And now I'm going to go to effects, and I'm going to go to object, outline object. Now it's white, but I want it to be black, completely black. Click OK, and let me activate background. You see what we did. We can even go bigger. I'm going to try to go bigger with the outline. Yeah, this looks much better. So this is just an example of how you can use that outline feature. Like I said, outline feature is not installed with the program. It is a plugin that you need to install as an extra feature. Okay, so that is the lasso tool and magic wand. So this is magic wand. I'm going to now show you how you can use lasso select tool. And I'm going to use that image I created with DZINE. So let's go around it with lasso. So lasso is just you move your mouse around, and everything that you grab with lasso, it's going to be selected. In this case, what I'm trying to do, I'm not being very precise because I'm seeing the whole image. Usually I would zoom in to be more precise with the lasso selection tool. But what I want to do is I want to separate this section that is black from the section that is dashed. I'm going to press Ctrl X, that is to cut that portion of the image, and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift V, that is to paste that cut section into new layer. You see it here. And I'm going to go to background, and now I'm going to go to adjustments, and I'm going to click on combine adjustments, and here I'm going to crank up the brightness and contrast, and here I'm going to move this black and white. You see what is happening with my image. I'm turning that dashed line into gray, light shade of gray, and now I can merge these two layers, and now I have created an image that is for tracing. So user, child, has to trace the image and then has to color it. So it's two activities in one, tracing and coloring. And that is how you do it using the lasso tool. Of course, you will do it much closer. You need to get closer to make sure that you see like this. That is the lasso tool. With lasso tool, you can be more precise. If you zoom in, you would not do it the zoom out like this, the way I did it. So you would zoom in and make sure that you are precise with your selection using the lasso tool. Lasso tool is also helpful if you want to isolate specific object. You see, if I do this, I'm going to grab this blue section, but if I want to avoid that smudge, I can use lasso tool to select specific shape. This font image is also created with CANVA Dreamlab. As you can see, I'm playing a lot with CANVA lately. Dreamlab is proving to be a very excellent tool. What else I can show you? Clone stamp. This is an image book cover that was generated by CANVA. Let's zoom in and let's say I want to clear this. This is obviously gibberish here, wrong, random letters. If I use my paintbrush, so let's select any color, and if I use paintbrush, if I do this, you see it is okay, but it is not very good. You see it is creating a uniform color and it's not looking good. The better choice for fixing these tiny errors is to use clone stamp. What clone stamp is doing is if you press Control key and if you press somewhere with your mouse, for example here, and now you move around, wherever I press now with my mouse, whatever is inside this circle, it is going to be cloned. So if I press here, you see I'm cloning whatever it is under this circle. And obviously the circle is moving as I move the mouse. So it's not going to stay on that position. It is constantly going to clone whatever is in that circle. So you see now, when I do this, I can create a much better effect because now I'm not painting with singular color, singular shade. I'm actually just cloning another portion of an image. And by doing that, I'm creating a much better effect. Now this doesn't look as bad if I used just one single shade. I can also fix this weird eye. So let's press here. And you need to be careful as you move forward. Because if I'm not careful, look what's going to happen. You see, now I have a green. That is not what I want. I want to make sure that I'm always using the correct shade. Now that I fixed that. And I also noticed something interesting here on the left side. Let's increase the brush side. That's too much. Let's go with 20. You see this weird shape here. It's weird, but I like it. So I'm going to hold Control. I'm going to press on it. So that is now my clone object. And I'm going to hold here. I'm going to press. Ta-da! And I have this beautiful. Here is weird, but here it looks perfectly fitting to be the dot for my letter I. What else? Let's say the AI image that was generated looks okay, but it could use little improvement, just tiny. You see this image overall, of course, you have this duplicate letter I, you have duplicate this, but overall, the image looks nice to be a book cover. I kind of like it, but I want it to be less AI-ish, if that is even the term to use. So what can I do to make this image less AI-ish? I'm going to go to Effects, I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to go to Liquify. This is going to open that image in a new panel. Keep in mind that everything that I'm doing here, it is not actually changing the image until I press OK. So here in the left, right bottom corner, unless I press OK, it is not going to do anything to the image. I'm going to reduce the size of my effect. I just dropped menu. Let's go 13. And you see what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. You see now it's creating this nice little even effect. Okay, you probably cannot see. I know that what I'm doing is good, but you have no idea what I'm doing or what the tool is doing. So I'm going to show you this here on this section. You see what this tool is doing? It's liquefying the pixels in the specific area. So you see here, you see how I can create a nice little effect around these. So it's reducing that AI effect. Let's go to this one here. You see, it's uniforming the colors around it, so it has less AI appearance. Of course, this is not only to fix AI images, you can use this for whatever you want. It's just liquefying whatever the pixel is under. And if I press OK, that is going to become my image. But if I press cancel, everything that I did is not going to be applied to the image. So it is a non-destructive fix until you actually apply it to your image. Another cool feature that we have here is if you have, for example, maze, if you go to effect, go to tools and go to grid warp, it is going to give you these controls, this grid. You can make the grid larger or smaller. Let's make it 4 by 4. And now you can move the points and you can create, of course, if you do not want, this is going to take you maybe 1 minute or more or less. You do not have to do this for all 100 mazes that you have in your book. But if you want to create maybe mixed activity book and you want to have a couple of mazes that are really, really unique, you can do this. You can change the warping. You see, I believe this looks cool. I'm going to press OK. And now my image has changed. I'm going to use the fill bucket. I'm going to change the color to white so I can actually fill these parts outside. And that is how you can create this. I believe looks very nice. You know, I love mazes, so every maze looks nice to me. But this is unique to you. Nobody is going to do the same corners and warping as you. And this is just how you can stand out when it comes to KDP or offering your designs on Teachers Per Teacher or wherever. What else I can show you? Did I skip anything? I believe I showed you all the tools. Oh, calendar. Let me show you how calendar works. Let me show you on this. So the calendar is going to work on whatever dimensions you have. So I'm going to try to make another layer here. Add new layer. Fill it with white. And this, I'm going to cancel this one. So I have one vertical and I have one longitudinal. Let's go to effects, let's go to render, and let's click on calendar. You see, you have calendar automatically in the background. You can control the font size, you can control the line width. You see, you can control the font, the line width. You can set the month. Let's go with January. You can set the year, 2025. You have options to show holidays, to show vertical dividers. You have option to start week with Monday, so Sunday and Monday start. You can also directly type the holidays here. You can type your holidays here and they're going to be included in the calendar as well. You can also remove the holidays if you do not want them. So that is how you can create calendar with this plugin. But I'm going to show you what's going to happen on this. So it is going to use whatever, where is render calendar. So it is actually going to use whatever your dimensions are. So that is quite cool way to make calendars quickly if you want to make calendars. And the most important thing, and this is the real reason why I have this tool and this is why I use it every single day, is when you download something from Canva, you know in Canva you have that slider and most people have no idea what that slider is doing when you want to download PNG or JPEG image, because Canva doesn't give you options to actually know the DPI of an image. So when you download something from Canva, when you get something from Creative Fabrica and you want to check what is the DPI of the image, that is dots per inch. If we zoom in here, you see these dots, that's dots per inch. The more dots per inch you have, the better the print quality is going to be. And if I go to layers, no, layers on image, and I click on resize, here in the resize toolbar, I actually have information about pixels. That is the resolution of my image. Now, keep in mind, If you type some number here, like for example, if I type 300, that is not going to change the quality of the image. It doesn't work like that. So nothing's going to happen if I type 300 here. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to press cancel. This is actually showing you the actual real resolution of the image. That is the DPI of the image. If I type a different number here, the resolution is going to stay the same. It is still going to be 96. The only thing that is going to change is that the image is going to become smaller, because you cannot change resolution by just changing the DPI. You need to use some of the enhancement tools that are actually enhancing the quality of the image. So this is why I use this software most of the time, just to open and see, is my DPI correct? Once I create cover, once I create book interior, you know, it has to be flattened. So that is why I use this tool all the time, just to quickly check the resolution of my images. That is the main reason. Everything else is just bonus for me. I believe I showed you everything. There is, I didn't skip anything. I showed you what I'm using. Maybe the line tool. I can show you the line tool. What color do I have? Let's go with here. What is this? Purple. You see, when you are drawing a line, each time when you draw a line, you're going to have 4 control points, 2 in the middle and 2 at the one at the corners. And here you can control the corners. Are they going to be straight or oval? And here you have more precise control for the each individual arc. So this one is controlling this arc, and this one is controlling this arc. That is what you have here in this section. Here you can change the style. You can change the corners to be arrow or oval. What else do I have here? Here you have shapes, and you have lots of shapes that you can draw automatically. For example, you can draw hearts, and then you see, move them around. And once you let go and try to do something else, you cannot change this except if you use the magic wand, select it, and then you can use the move tool again and you move it. But you see now, because I did not create heart on a separate layer, I'm actually destroying the background of my original image. So that is why it's very important that everything that you do it in the new separate layer. If you have questions regarding this software, if you want me to show you something really specific about the software, comment down below. This was just a quick showdown of the software that I'm using for now maybe 15-20 years. It's simple compared to Photoshop that is using 20 gigabytes. This one is using maybe 10-20 megabytes. So it is very light and it gets the work done. That is the most important thing. You can create book covers inside without any issues. I believe I showed you everything. Let me see. Let me just check the shortcuts. Did I skip something that is important? Feather, I showed you why the feather is important. Grid, yeah, I believe I showed you everything that is important at the beginning. Once you go deeper inside this tool, you're going to see a lot of benefits for you and this tool. Most of the things, of course, you can do this in CANVA, but there are some things that CANVA cannot do, and that is why you need this software. It's free. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and until the next video, I shall see you down below in the comments. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.